What's going on, everybody? We're back. Bowlmas, day 2. We're rolling along here, trucking along here. Got an action-packed episode. A quick one, which is why you see we got a little guest in here as the Bowlmas trend continues. It's Bowlmas day 2. Covering a little bit of NFL today. It will be split up into a couple parts over the next couple days of Bowlmas here. So definitely stay tuned. Stay, locked into the stuff we're posting out because you don't want to miss our picks. I know we had a much better overall record last weekend, I think, with giving out some heaters. Some of my money line plays might not have been good, at least for me personally, but I know a decent amount of the player props I gave out were good. I know I got snubbed on Michael Pittman, 4 catches in the first quarter and then went out with a concussion. So was very on pace for that over 6.5 total receptions, but we'll leave that one in the past and look forward here to the 2-game slate on Saturday. But before we get into that, I do want to introduce our special guest analyst, and guest picker, Ben. Welcome to the show, man. Appreciate you hopping on, taking time out of your night, and jumping on and talking some football with us.
Yeah, guys. Thanks for having me. If you don't know me, I'm an Auburn alum. Here to talk some college football and NFL. Big Auburn fan, obviously. Like the Patriots, so it's been a rough year, and so I'm looking forward to some new recruits and whoever we get in the draft. Honestly, so.
Yeah, you had some good years, so I think a bad year is okay.
Yeah. No one feels bad for me right now, so.
Yeah, no. I think it's what do you got, Jack?
I was just gonna say it's pretty funny, if let's just say the Jets did have Rodgers. Let's just say that for a second. Let's just look to next year. With the Dolphins and the Bills being powerhouses right now, at least during the regular season. If the Jets had a nice record like that too, to see the Patriots all the way down there with only 3 wins, I mean it's awesome, man. For so long we saw the Bills, Jets, and Dolphins have 3-win seasons while the Patriots go on to have 12-win seasons. But now the script is finally flipped, and it's awesome. I'm so happy.
Yeah, I don't know if the Jets will ever find a way to be a competitive franchise, but honestly, just fire Mac Jones into the sun, and that's about all I have.
Yeah. So Ben, is Bailey Zappi the quarterback of the future?
Absolutely not. but at least the fan base likes him,
Hey, he's playing hard for the franchise. He's trying his best. He went out on Thursday night, 2 weeks ago, and put on a good performance against the Steelers at Pittsburgh, which is a very tough place to win. Props to him for getting that done. Obviously, doesn't seem like he's going to be the guy going forward, and neither does Mac Jones. So they got a lot to figure out. Bill Belichick, obviously more of a defensive guy. And is it who was the ex-Penn State, ex-Texans coach? Bill O'Brien. Is he the O coordinator over there?
The steel chin. And honestly, it wouldn't surprise me. I wouldn't be surprised if this is like Bill Belichick's last season in a Patriots, head coaching job, which honestly makes me sad, but it feels like it's trending that way. So
let me tell you right now, if Billy O'Brien becomes the head coach of the Patriots, I will be so happy.
I'll kill myself.
There aren't too many coaches that I really don't think are all that good, but Billy O, oh my gosh, the way he blew up the Texans organization, love that. Love that for Jacksonville. Giving away DeAndre Hopkins, Deshaun Watson, that was something else, but oh my gosh, I love Billy O. If he could go ruin the Patriots franchise like he did the Texans, I'd be a big fan. So let's
you bring up a good point. He did blow up the Texans, and he does seem to not have the best track record. But what is there to blow up in New England? I mean, who do they have that they're blowing up and sending off? I mean, what is there to blow up?
Ramondre, maybe.
Our defense isn't that far away from being competitive. I mean, I think we're the first team to hold to give up less than 10 points in back-to-back games and lose both games. So,
that's tough.
Yeah, it's really, quarterback wide receiver thing. And honestly, just please get me someone that can call plays because, we had Matt Patricia last year, which is a lot of pain. So
Hey man, I'll take Matt Patricia as the D coordinator on the Eagles
He's
because
calling plays.
no,
Sean
he was
Desai was.
calling the offense.
Oh, he was
Yeah.
calling the offense in New England.
Yeah.
That is a disaster. Yeah, well, they got a lot to figure out. If I'm Bill Belichick, I'm maybe thinking about moving on because there's it seems like there's a lot more than just roster management to be addressed out there in New England. But look, you guys have the Bruins, you have the Celtics. There's other good teams where you can kind of just let the Patriots be the Patriots. It kind of seems like they're going to be bad for a long time, just kind of based on what the roster is and where they are with the coaching staff and obviously the fan base is there. But Brady left, and it's not looking too good in the future.
I agree with you on that one. And we were bad for a while before we got Brady. So,
Yeah, well, look, if there was a 20-year dynasty to be had, I think you guys pretty much fulfilled the best possible outcome you could have had. I think any fan base would trade being horrible for decades and then post dynasty being horrible as well for the run you guys went on. What was it, 6 Super Bowls? Just continuous playoff runs, always getting there. Super Bowl losses. Like, I mean, Brady lost 4 Super Bowls as well as
yeah,
winning 6. So
Was it
yeah.
3 or 4?
It was 3. It was 3.
It
It
was
was Eli twice and Foles.
Right.
Okay. So
I
yeah,
gotta-
I mean, the guy played in what, 9 Super Bowls, or 10 because with the
10
Bucs.
if you count the Bucks. Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
So I mean, any fan base would probably trade for that. But enough about the Patriots. Obviously, Ben, I know it's your squad, but we don't need to spend much time up there. We can move on to the slate at hand, the Saturday slate, which I always love a little NFL Saturday in the holiday time. But Bengals traveling to Pittsburgh. Jake Browning's Bengals playing red hot and really in control of I'm a big control your own destiny guy. They kind of control their own destiny. So I'll jump it over to Jack here. How are you reading this game? Are the Bengals going to be able to have success on the road in a tough environment in a team that's not dead yet in the Steelers?
Yeah, the Steelers are not dead yet, but they damn well should be. You're trotting out Mason Rudolph. Kenny Pickett is hurt, but he's not doing anything for you. You got Mitch Trubisky. His time filling in has been awful. So now you're going to trot out Mason Rudolph. You've got George Pickens not wanting to pick up a block. You've got Najee Harris, who has the worst vision out of any running back I've seen in a long time. He looks incredibly slow. I mean, he's turning into Trent Richardson, like I think we all kind of expected. And I just don't see where the Steelers come up with the juice for this one. I really don't. You think Jalen Warren pops off for like 150 yards on the ground? I think that's maybe the only way you get it done. Maybe you get some defensive touchdowns out of this Steelers team, but dude, it's got to be the Bengals. It's got to be the Bengals, and that's me saying the Bengals even without Jamar Chase, without Jamar Chase in this one. I still think T. Higgins can be able to get it done. I think Joe Mixon can be able to get it done. Also, that secondary running back, what's his name? Um,
Chase Brown.
Chase Brown. That guy looks electric. He's really been coming on these past couple of weeks. So I like the Bengals in this one. I just think they have a little bit more to work with. I know that this is a divisional game in Pittsburgh Saturday night, so you want to call it or Saturday afternoon. You want to call it a primetime game, you can. I'm still going to go with the Bengals. Jake Browning he's rolling right now. This is a 2.5 point game. Don't love that. So I'm just going to take the Bengals on a money line, and I'll parlay with the under as well.
Yeah, I mean, both defenses have been shaky, but can also maybe make something happen. I think the environment of Pittsburgh really plays into it the most. But yeah, you brought up a good point too about trotting Rudolph out there. They are trotting him out there, and it's not like he's an unknown. We've already seen what he can do out there. And I think his most famous highlight is slamming his helmet on Myles Garrett. So if that's your most famous highlight, and you have a good amount of starts, probably not going to be a bright spot for the Steelers offense going forward. But yeah, I mean, they're trotting him out there. There's already tape on him. An NFL defense will be ready for him. Don't think he'll have much success. But Brian, I want to get your read on this game. What do you got?
Yeah, so I mean, you mentioned Rudolph. You'd think a guy with that last name would be in for a good day right before Christmas, but he's just that fucking terrible where I can't even like go into that. I'm wearing the sweater too. Like I'm in the spirit, but Mason Rudolph is just he looks like a terrible person too. Dude has the most punchable face in the NFL. And so I can't get with Mason Rudolph. I can't jump on that train. Jack mentioned the Steelers are going to have to figure out something to go their way to win this game. I think the only way that happens is if Renegade gets played 200 times. They're going to have to play it every down while they're on defense, and that's maybe they win this game. I've talked about it. Bengals are the team of destiny. Jake Browning, as long as he's alive, the Huskies are alive. Those two go together. As long as they're both winning games, they're going to both be winning games. So Bengals -2.5 is the bet.
Yeah, it seems like a Bengals train here because we've seen Jake Browning be able to get it done a few times now. I mean, people forget, and Jack, I know it's your squad, but he went down to Jacksonville and pulled out a dub when nobody expected him to do that.
Hey,
And
now.
then followed it up with another win the following week. So
Someone
pretty
expected
good.
that Jaguars dub.
Well, I know you expected him, but most of the other people, analysts, whatever you want to call it, were not anticipating that. But yeah, before I give out something, Ben, I want to know what your read is on this game. Everybody's pretty Bengals heavy here so far. Are you staying the same way, or are you going to ride with Tomlin?
You know what? I'm gonna have to go the other way just to be the devil's advocate, and someone's got to talk about this Steelers defense. I mean, they play ugly games. They make your offense just grind to a halt, and they're not fun to watch. Like they really aren't. But they're at home. It's gonna be cold. Honestly, give me the under. Buy it up a half point so you don't get hooked at 37. And somehow, in some way, the Steelers get this done. And I don't want to watch the game. So
Yeah, I think you're not terribly wrong there. So what? The play's the under. Is that what we got? Little underplay.
100%. And if you want to feel safer, just like tease it up a few points, have that insurance. But I don't blame people for being on the Bengals, and I think they're favored, like rightfully so. But it just kind of makes you think, like, what does Vegas want you to take?
Yeah, I tend to agree with the Pittsburgh home aesthetic. I know that being out there in Pittsburgh, obviously, for whatever reason, they just seem to play better, especially this time of year when it gets a little colder too. It is a divisional matchup, but I just like I put all those things in my head, right? And I'm like, okay, it seems like it makes sense to go the Steelers. And then it comes back to the quarterback. And the quarterback the last few weeks has been Trubisky, and now it's Mason Rudolph. And I can't get behind that. I just can't vision it, picture it that Mason Rudolph is going to go out there and win a football game against a red hot Bengals team. Jake Browning hasn't looked like he's going to slow down anytime soon. I know he's without Jamar Chase, but look for Joe Mixon to get involved early and often. I know they're going to feed the ball to T. Higgins. I think they built a lot of chemistry last week as you saw Higgins not only make a couple nice grabs, but have 2 touchdowns. So I see him getting going. I'm going to have to lean Bengals here and take them on the money line as well. I think I want to lean Steelers because of that home environment, but it always comes back to the quarterback, and Mason Rudolph being there is just such a big problem for me. Maybe I'm wrong, but I just can't get behind Mason Rudolph. Give me the Bengals on the money line, and kind of like you, Ben, really don't look forward to watching this game. But to move on to the nightcap, 8 p.m. game Saturday night. Most people will be pre-gaming, getting ready to go out to the bar. The Bills travel out to LA to take on the Chargers in the Dome. Chargers are completely done, right? No Keenan Allen. They're on the backup quarterback stick. They're basically giving up. I mean, fired Brandon Staley, fired the GM. If you're the Chargers, tank for a better draft pick. I mean, you get zero out of winning this game. I don't even think you bring momentum into next year by winning games at the end of the season because of how long they have off. So before I get into more analysis, I'll jump over to you, Brian, and kind of get your thoughts on this game. I know it's in the dome, and you're a big, aesthetically dome points guy. Is the over in the cards here?
The over is not in the cards because this game is a Peacock exclusive.
Hmm.
You mentioned people pre-gaming and not being able to watch this game. Bars aren't going to have this game on because they're not going to buy Peacock for the $6 a month it is to get one NFL game. It's a mess. The fact they're having the Sunday Night Football commentators do this one and Noah Eagle do the one that's actually on NBC is a joke, an absolute disgrace. The execs at NBC should all be fired for that. Although Noah Eagle is cool, I like the job he did with the NFL Slime Time to Saints Bears playoff game way back when. But yeah, the Bills, it's a 68% chance to make the playoffs with a win, and they're going to win this game. I think we can all agree they're going to win this game. It's just, do they cover that 12.5 number? I don't think so. I'm going to believe in Easton Stick here. I think the Bills might try out some new things, maybe sit some vets, and Easton Stick. Let's see what you got. So yeah, Chargers plus 12.5 is going to be my play.
That's pretty wild considering the Chargers are coming off like what, a 30 or 40 point blowout loss
That's part of the thinking here.
against the Raiders. So a much better offense in the Bills here. I guess you could try and play that angle of like, oh, they got blown out last week, so this week will be closer, which sometimes tends to be true. But yeah, Jack, are you seeing the Chargers covering 12.5 here?
Dude,
Tough.
Brian said it perfectly. We know the Bills are winning this game. We just don't know if they're covering that 12.5. It's really tough for me. I don't want to touch it. I really don't. We know that the Bills just won by 27 points, 28 points the other night
Blew
against
out the
28.
Cowboys. Blew them out.
21 garbage time touchdown at the end.
Oh, my bad. So 21 points against the Cowboys, and now you're playing the Chargers, who just lost by 40 points, as Matt said, to the Raiders. I mean, there's no doubt that this game Bills could cover 50 points. I mean, it absolutely could happen. But with the players that they plan to sit, with the fact that they know that they have this game in the bag, traveling across the country, I don't think that they cover the 12 points. Still not touching it, but I just don't think they're going to cover the 12 points. My play in this one is going to be Austin Eckler on the receiving yards. I think we may have given this one out last week. Again, Easton Stick, this guy's nothing. He's gonna have to. He doesn't have Keenan Allen in this one. He's gonna have to dump the ball down. So I like Austin Eckler to go over on the receiving yards.
And maybe with the new head coach, I know it obviously might not be the guy for the future, but at least just a change. Maybe this coach will be like, smarter than a third grader and get Austin Eckler involved and not rotate three running backs in there. Austin Eckler's your best offensive weapon here with Keenan Allen out. The fact that Brandon Staley like doubled down and was like, yeah, we're going to rotate all the running backs and then proceeded to get blown out. And every time Austin Eckler was actually even in the game, they looked somewhat competent. Eckler was moving the ball, and then he got pulled right back out. So, like, I'm like confident that Staley wanted to get fired because who in their right mind would do that? I mean, Eckler's your best weapon here, especially with Allen out. You got to feed the man the rock. I mean, it just makes the most sense to do. With that being said, I'm not confident that it'll happen. But again, I'll save mine till the end. Ben, want to get your opinion on this game. Which way do you see it going? I got to know, man.
Yeah. Real quick, I don't have, some great analysis on this, but spreads over 10 have been hitting at a very high clip this year. The Chargers are all but dead and gone, and the Bills need to win. They're not going to play around. They're gonna get up early, get their players out. Bills are covering, but I will point out that with Keenan Allen out, who are they going to throw the ball to? I like the Eckler pick if you aren't comfortable on his yards because he's slower than Cole Houghton's car. You can do his receptions, which is probably a safer play. I don't know what it's at, but I also think that Gerald Everett, the tight end, is a great pick for receiving yards in this.
Well, I like
big,
that.
big tight end, good catch radius. and he slept on. I don't think he probably has like absolutely like zero handle on him on the books. So
Yeah, I think it's probably sitting around 3.5 or 4.5 for the Eckler total receptions. If I had to guess, that's usually where it's been around all year. I don't hate it at all. I do think they get Eckler involved here because he just hasn't been involved, and it's a completely new coach. And anyone with half a freaking brain would get the best player that you're paying a decent amount of money to involved because it's a new coach. It's kind of a spot for him to showcase himself a little bit to the league. Like he has a little more spotlight on it. I have Brian looking there like he's dazed and confused, so I'll let him say whatever fucking piece he needs to say. Go.
Dude, Eckler is like he's washed, man. And I want you mentioned like when he was on the field, good things happened last week. They tried to run a bubble screen to him, and the Raiders DB ran from 20 yards off the ball, saw Eckler was in the game. They were going to throw him the ball, got a pick six with one hand, and then it turned into a pick six.
Yeah, that was because the quarterback completely just like lofted. That was like a horrible play design.
That's
Like
true.
that was in
on
no way Austin Eckler's fault.
Well, I'm just saying, like he came in the
Like
game. Well,
0%.
it kind of goes to your point. He finally came in the game, and that he knew they were going to throw him the ball. But he can't run. He looks like an old man out there.
Look, I think Austin Eckler has definitely lost a touch to your point, Brian. He's never been the best runner of the football, between the tackles and all that, and the numbers definitely prove that this year. But still, catching the ball out of the backfield, that's what he does best. If the quarterback can get it to him, that is. I mean, come on. I saw that replay just as well as you did. That DB knew what was happening the second that the ball got snapped. I mean, he was already
Right.
running. That's on coaching, man. Whether you want to shout out the DB or the Raiders defensive coaches for knowing that, for dialing that and teaching that. That's taught. That's not and to Matt's point, there's no you can't
That's
blame
just
Austin
not on
Eckler for
Eckler.
that. You just can't blame Austin
It
Eckler.
might not be on Eckler, but
It's 0% on Eckler. Like there's no way. I just know you wanted to go against me.
no,
I'm not
just
gonna have
saying.
it.
I'm saying you said when he was in the game, good things happened, and they figured it out. He was in the game, and they're like, "Oh, they're definitely giving him the ball," and then it was a pick six.
If that's how I said it, I should have phrased it. When you complete the pass to him, good things happen.
That's fair. Before you go, his line is 3.5, but it's with juice, so I see it at -165 for 3.5, and then 4.5 is +125.
Yeah, that 3.5 is a little bit of juice. Ben, did you want to jump in there and add something out there at the tail end?
yeah, just one quick stat. In the last two games, Gerald Everett has a 70% snap percentage and is seeing 8 targets and 5 receptions in the last two games each. So I think you just kind of have to take advantage of that big body up the middle. So
and those stats come with what's the guy's first name?
Easton Stick.
Easton. No, I know Gerald Everett. I knew it was Stick. I didn't want to keep calling him Stick. But Easton Stick, that sample size is with him at quarterback. So that bodes extremely well going into this game, considering obviously he's the quarterback. But yeah, I guess what's that, Jack? I know you were going to jump in there.
I was just going to say, that shouldn't be too surprising either. Generally, when a newer quarterback, rookie quarterback, inexperienced quarterback, call it what you want. When a newer quarterback comes in, they normally are looking right over the middle, big target tight end. So I really like that play, Ben.
Yeah, it's some good insight, and that's why we bring the guest pickers on because you never know what they got, but that's some great stats right there. Great stat poll. That's what we look for. You came on, you're prepared with the stat poll, and it's a great stat poll because, like you said, that sample size you pulled the stat from is with the quarterback who's going to be quarterbacking the Chargers when they roll out there. So good stuff there. I think there's a lot of good juice there for both those reception plays. But Ben, I think you really kind of alluded to it, and I hate taking the big spreads, but the NFL recently the big spreads have been hitting. I've seen enough out of the Chargers to know that, maybe Austin Eckler has a nice game, but I am not. I mean, to get blown out by the Raiders like that, I don't buy it. They're toast. They've given up. I know they weren't playing for Brandon Staley. Maybe there's a little more juice here because it's a new coach, but I'll take the Bills -12.5. I'm confident that they can go out there and get it done. And like you said, the Bills aren't like, this 3-loss team that can kind of afford to lose games. They got to continue to win games. So they're going to come out fired up. They're going to, come out looking ready to play. And I don't think since it's an 8:30 game, I don't think the time zone's really going to mess with them that much. I think they'll be relatively locked in for what that is. So I'll take the Bills on the big spread. Hopefully it hits, because that would be pretty awesome, because I usually don't take the big spreads, but I think the Bills just really need it a lot more. And the other thing I wanted to ask is, I keep saying the new coach. Who the hell is the new coach? Because I don't even fucking know.
You're going to need time to
Great
look that
fucking
one.
point. That is a great point.
Great question.
I assumed it was going to be Kellen Moore.
Oh, God.
I assumed they were.
It's a guy named Jiff Smith.
Oh, God.
GIF? Oh, God, not this.
That's
So
a made-up name.
It's GIFF. So is that GIF or GIF?
I think it's GIF.
I don't know. I'm calling it Jeff.
I don't know, but either way, it's ridiculous.
Leave it to the Chargers to hire a guy that we can't pronounce his name right, and his last name is Smith. So
it's a meme franchise, man. And if I'm not mistaken, and I think we tried to like tailor this because like we would go on rants like all the time. Isn't like one of the first shows we ever did? Didn't I go on like a huge rant about the Chargers are horrible? They have no fan base. Organization is ran so poorly.
Like 30 minutes.
We gotta pull that clip, dude.
That just sounds like the front office, GM, head coach, everything in the Chargers organization is just a little bit of a mess right now. And until that gets sorted out, we're going to keep seeing inconsistent play and possibly more blown leads in the playoffs.
But I think the clip very much would apply at this point in time.
I got one quick fun fact about the Chargers, by the way. In the last 20 years, they have had 4 different quarterbacks. The Browns have had 4 quarterbacks in the month of October. So
interesting.
Yeah,
that's a little nugget out of left field.
And the Browns are better off. The Browns are better off as a franchise right now.
Well, you know, I mean, we'll wait till we get to the Browns, but you guys already know I'm a big Joe Flacco guy here. I know. I mean, come on, man. He's from the Horsham area. He's a Bucks County guy. I mean, it's a guy who, you know, basically my neighbor growing up. So
hometown hero. I mean,
hometown hero. Yeah, I won't get into it anymore, but damn, Brad, 400 yards he almost threw for. And you laughed at me. You still laughed at me when I took his over pass. It was like what, over 240 passing yards, and you told me I was like, just that was not the right take, and he soared over. But yeah, I think that kind of wraps it up. Unless you want to touch on one more thing, Ben. I see the mic come off. It seems like you're ready to jump in.
No, we're all good. We can keep it pushing here.
Yeah,
I just want to get Ben's Auburn Music City, the Music City Bowl out in Nashville, Tennessee. I want to get your prediction on that game, Ben. How do you think the Tigers are going to fare in that?
Yeah, so let me give you a quick rundown. It'll be on December 30th. We're all going to be waking up, eating some lunch, getting our ABC shopping carts ready. And there's going to be a great football game on. And to be honest, I was nervous at first. I really was. I'm going to go and give Maryland their flowers here. They hang with Michigan. They've hung with Ohio State. They're a good team, like up and down the field. They're a good team, but their leader's out. I'm sure if unless you've been hiding under a rock, Taulia Tagovailoa is opting out for this game, and I have some questions on that. But first off, I don't see why he would do that, because this Auburn secondary is going to be depleted of opt-outs. And I thought it would be a great chance for him to, in his last college games, to really run up the stats. But this gives Auburn a huge edge. They jumped from 3.5 to 7-point favorites. They're going to be essentially at Auburn North up in Nashville. It's going to be rocking. I mean, the fans are going to have a lot of fun juicing them from Broadway, heading right over, and Auburn is going to roll with this game. It's not going to be close. Auburn, I believe, is undefeated in Nashville, and not counting Vanderbilt. And the last time we played, we set the most points in a bowl game first half against Purdue in the Music City Bowl. I don't know if you remember that.
Yep.
We were talking about that the other day. We put up 63 points in 20 2018 with Jared Stidham and Seth Williams and Anthony Schwartz. Yeah, we put up the 63 burger in the Music City Bowl 2018 last time we were there. I didn't know we put up a record for first half points though.
Yeah, I believe it was like 52 or something like that.
If there's one thing that's going for Auburn, they're playing in what? They're playing in the bowl game that they last won.
Yeah.
So there's one thing that they
5
got
years
go
ago.
for them. Yeah, they
Yeah.
haven't won a bowl game in 5 years, and this is the first time they're playing. Same stadium, same bowl game.
Yep.
That's something to look at. I would say that definitely plays in their favor. I think that wraps it up. Ben, I know you had a surprise bowl game pick that you were talking about. I don't know if you want to release that to the fans who tune in, but I want to know what this sneaky bowl game pick is because as a degenerate better myself, if it's some plus money juice, I probably will be all over it.
Okay. Yeah. So for those of you that like, gross college football games, and if you're just a football fan in general for old school, give me Air Force money line versus JMU this Saturday.
No.
The Sun Belt school
behind that one.
The Sun Belt school runs a read option the whole game. That's gonna just deplete JMU, who just lost their head coach and just isn't in this game. They're just not, and they're not gonna be able to tackle for 40 or 60 minutes. This Air Force team, it's brutal. It's like death by 1,000 cuts. So
it'll be tough. And dude, honestly, I guess the JMU game or the JMU Air Force Bowlmas already got released, so there's no spoilers here. But that Air Force game or Air Force JMU, it's called isn't it like the Lockheed Martin Army Bowl game? So that is a part of the military, or so. Like Lockheed Martin is like what the main product or bullet.
That's employer.
Yeah, that's my employer. Shout out Lockheed Martin. Everyone head to the bowl.
They have what is it you guys sell? I'm not familiar with. I know it's a part of the military, but what is it that you guys supply?
Yeah, so I'll give you a quick rundown. It is the world's largest government contractor. We make everything from the F-35s to missiles to radars to satellites and anything in between. So
right. So government contractor, obviously involved with the military and armed forces, and you have a service academy playing in the bowl game that it's named after. So it seems like, how the hell can you have the service academy lose in a game that it's kind of named after? Not named after, but you know what I'm getting at here.
Yeah.
In terms of what I got nothing left. Stay tuned for the rest of Bowlmas. That's all I got, and I'll let you guys shut it down.
I didn't mean Adrian Hauser, David.
War Eagle, Ben.
War Eagle, guys. Thank you for having me, and hopefully everyone ends up in the green this weekend.